Okay, yeah, what's up, man? We're coming back with a preview of a driving simulator that we're making. First of all, I want to say this is the NVC demo multi-vehicle controller at the end of the day, but I am modifying it. As you can see, I already have my speed gauge modified. I have a car stats on the right. It's not all the way accurate yet as far as the RPM goes. The speed is accurate. The quarter mile, 1 mile, and 2 mile are actually accurate at the end of the day. So as you can see, we have an Ultimate Aero here. This is the Ultimate Aero Twin Turbo at the end of the day. And it has 1183 horsepower speed on the top. Right now, my idle horsepower is kind of inaccurate, and then once I hit my top speed and stuff, the horsepower climbs back down, not on the actual car but on the stats. So I do have to fix the stats. I also have to fix the RPM as well on the stats gauge on the top right, but on the bottom right it's all accurate. The speed gauge is accurate for sure. All that stuff is accurate when it moves up. So this game is kind of going to be based on drag racing and roll racing for the most part, but it's going to have that Gran Turismo PlayStation 1 style feeling and racing. We also edited our camera as well for the NVC, because the NVC, we didn't like the camera for it. When I push L1, my interior camera is not working, but all the cars will have animation steering wheels with a character for now. I already got a good amount of cars. I have like maybe 10 or 15 cars implemented in the game. Some of them we're going to take out, some of them we're going to keep, but it's going to be super realistic. So not every car off the gate is going to sound exactly like the car in real life. I don't really know how the SSC Aero sounds in real life, but for the most part it's going to be a video game. That's all that matters, and then we'll perfect it as we go on. But we do have our 0 to 62 mph timing. We have a quarter mile timing, 1 mile timing, and 2 mile timing, which is going to be a real world stat at the end of the day for when you're driving your car. 360 camera that resets after 2 seconds at the end of the day. There will be an interior view as well, and possibly a hood view as well. But it has the Gran Turismo style camera. It doesn't have the Forza style camera, like when you turn your car it kind of lags a little bit. We don't got that. It's gonna have that Gran Turismo 2 style kind of feeling. So what we're gonna do is line up here, and we're gonna go for our 1 mile timing. Let's go. That's 0 to 62 mph at 3.15 seconds. Not bad. Quarter mile, 9.96, 159 miles per hour. Not bad. Let's go, baby. That's 23.42 at 232 miles per hour. And this is also Le Mans Circuit de la Sarre at the end of the day. It's one of my favorite courses of all time, one of my favorite racetracks. So the game is basically going to be more focused on roll racing and drag racing, but it is going to have a single player mode really similar to Gran Turismo 2. We're more going to focus on vintage, modern supercars and hypercars. Not any of the extreme ones that got like 2,000 horsepower. That's not going to be the goal. The goal is more going to be kind of like Gran Turismo 2 focused style kind of racing, where the fastest cars in the game are going to be like the Bugatti Chiron and then the Agera RS, cars along that line. We're not really going to put cars too much faster than those, because we don't want the game to feel like the modern Forza and the modern Gran Turismo games. We want it to feel slow paced how the older Gran Turismo games were. So let's do 100 roll. Oh, let's go. And the game will have horns as well. This is so cool. This is so much funner than playing Gran Turismo and Forza, because I get to make my own racing game and put any car in it that I want, you know, and make it realistic. and it's gonna have the realistic top speed. So this SSC Aero has 1183 horsepower and gets just north of 250 miles per hour, like the realistic top speed in real life. Yes, and my lights and reverse lights do work, but I don't have it set up on this SSC Aero yet. I have it set up on most of my other cars, but not on this one yet. That's cool. And also, we want this game to where it's not really going to be simulation endurance racing based, but it is going to have that. For the most part, it's basically going to be souping up some of your cars and then just doing roll racing and drag racing at the end of the day, with the exception of having some simulation racing at the end of the day. Alright, let's do 100 roll at the 1 mile. So we have a 1 mile trigger zone set up here too, and we're going to set up a sign that says it, maybe some green lights as well, but on the fourth line. Let's go. I love the SSC Aero. It's one of my favorite hypercars. My favorite one is actually the Veyron Vitesse. And on a dig, I think it'll beat this car, but on a roll, I don't think it'll beat it. 20.08 seconds at 236 miles per hour. Not bad. That wasn't bad at all. But we also plan on setting it up to where you can make your own cruise lobby offline. You can choose your cars from your garage, right? And we're going to kind of limit it to maybe 8 cars on the track. We really don't want too much more than that. But we'll see maybe in the future. We kind of want 8 cars on the track. We don't have any of that kind of AI set up yet at the end of the day. We just don't. Let's go to our Gara RS, set that up, drag it to the background. Let's go here. Let's go to our speed timing manager, set that up here, and basically it's gonna be more focused on offline, but we do want to add a multiplayer mode for online rolls and online drags at the end of the day. So our brake lights work, reverse lights work. Yeah, for whatever reason, our interior, for all of our all-wheel drive cars, our interior cockpit mode is working on L1, but when we do it on our rear-wheel drive cars, for some reason it's not turning on. These are also the actual original Koenigsegg rims and tires. I don't know why that texture is messed up with carbon, but it is what it is. The game's not perfect yet, but the cars are gonna be decently realistic. They're gonna have semi-decent interiors at the end of the day. Not as good as Forza and Gran Turismo, obviously, but the cars are going to be realistic, really realistic. So this is the Koenigsegg Gara RS at 1341 horsepower. Okay, and the top speed is just north of around 270 plus, around 280, somewhere off in that range. And we're going to do a dig. Really nice car. This is probably my favorite Gara right here. Is the Gara RS. Now, as we know, it's going to be realistic. And it is going to be a drag racing simulator, but it's not going to be like dragster. It's not going to be all-out dragster. Because the thing about Gran Turismo and Forza, like when you do drag racing and stuff, and everybody just has the same cars. Everyone's just swapped, and it comes to a point where if you got a stock P1 or a stock LaFerrari, everyone out there is doing like 200 miles per hour literally in 4 seconds, and it just gets boring. You know, it's not fun no more. It doesn't feel like the Gran Turismo 5 and Gran Turismo 6 drag racing at stage 7, and that's kind of what we want to do, is implement that style of drag racing again. For the people and the fans that miss that kind of drag racing and roll racing at the end of the day. Just more of a slow-paced, realistic style kind of drag racing and roll racing. So Let's get a launch on this thing. It is gonna spin. We do not have launch control turned on. Let's go. Yeah, that's fast. I forgot to set up the quarter mile thing on the stats. Wow. 23.12 seconds, 248 miles per hour. That's fast. Oh yeah, we just hit 280 right there. Hold on. This is so much funner than Gran Turismo and Forza, just because I'm pretty sure that Forza 6 is still fun. Hold on, let me go to my Koenigsegg. I probably have it turned off. There we go. Yeah, but the thing about Gran Turismo is that Gran Turismo Sport was really fun, but it was limited. Like, you couldn't really play it offline like that. They didn't really have a good offline mode like Gran Turismo 5 and 6. And then Gran Turismo 7, it doesn't even have an offline mode, which I hate that, right? I really enjoyed Gran Turismo 5 and 6, where I could just fully play it offline. I just get out there and go to Circuit del Sar and just tune my cars and have fun and do some rolls and stuff like that. The one thing that I did love about Gran Turismo 7 is you can choose your cars from your garage and then race them at Le Mans, right? That's what I did love. And also my Circuit del Sar, my Le Mans, it's not finished yet, right? I didn't finish texturing it yet. I didn't finish the 3D model yet. It's basically in beta stages now. But basically my roads are done with all the colliders and stuff. But let's go check out the quarter mile for this gear on the straight. Jesus Christ, this car is really fast, really fast. Now obviously, just like real life, you know, the Agera RS, it's not really meant for launching, you know what I mean? So like a 918 probably might be able to beat it in the quarter mile. The Veyron might be able to beat it in the quarter mile if they hook up correctly. But let's see what happens. Let's look at our quarter mile time. Oh, let's straighten out a little more. Okay. Because if you're not straight, you're going to ruin your launch. Let's go. 3.46, not bad for the Agera RS. .14, 159 miles per hour, not bad. Now on a roll, this car is going to destroy almost anything, I guarantee it, on a roll. Look at that, man. That's a really good 1 mile run. Gotta love it. Really cool. I want to turn around and then look at our top speed on the way back, because coming down this way, you're kind of going up a hill a little tiny bit, but going back, you're kind of going down the hill a little bit. So let's try to see what the actual top speed is. Freaking love the Koenigsegg Gear RS. I used to hate Koenigsegg when I first learned about Koenigsegg, but I ended up loving it later on. And this is a big twin turbo V8 as well. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, that's realistic. .284, man. That's what we are able to break. And that's how I know like my system's realistic, because I have the actual chassis weight, I have the actual curb weight of the cars and stuff. So the cars are kind of realistic to real life at the end of the day. Like if we come here and come to my Veyron Super Sport, my curb weight is around 4,000 pounds at the end of the day. How the actual Veyron is Super Sport Vitesse, right? 1,200 horsepower. The torque is kind of off a little bit on some of these cars, but I have to do that for the sake of the simulator. The simulator is kind of limited. So, not everything is going to be 100% accurate from that standpoint at the end of the day. But for the most part, the horsepower is going to be accurate. The launch timings at the end of the day. See, with my four-wheel drive cars, my interior camera switcher is working. I don't know why it's not for my rear-wheel drive cars. And also for my brake lights, I got to put it on that middle red light, how the Veyron is in real life. I also got realistic wings too for the cars that have them. So the wing does lift up when you take off, like real life, and then after like 200 miles per hour, it'll lock into top speed mode. And then when you brake, it'll go back in. It's pretty cool. So just like real life, you know, this Veyron Vitesse and the Chiron, they're going to kind of launch on anything from a quarter mile to the half mile. They're basically going to smoke almost any other hypercar like real life. But on the roll, it's going to be a totally different story. Like that SSC Aero, and then those Agueras would probably most definitely smoke this Veyron. And another thing on this game is you're really going to have to get your launches down at the end of the day. And that's going to play a big role in your quarter mile times. Let's go. 2.5 like real life, 2.58. Got a 9.7 at 152 miles per hour. Not bad. I do got to update the tires on this Veyron. Those are the actual rims, but not the actual tires. 222 miles per hour at 23.94 seconds. That's not bad. That's really not bad. And obviously with the Veyron Super Sport, it took about 4 miles to get to its actual top speed, to 269 miles per hour. But we know that Circuit de la Sarre Le Mans, it's not that long. It's only about 2.5 miles, somewhere around there, right? It's probably almost 3 miles. So unfortunately with the Veyron Vitesse, you're not going to get to the 269 miles per hour at the end of the day. The straightaway is not long enough. But we can definitely try to see what we can get. And I do have a muffled engine system in the interior as well, where it doesn't sound like it does on the chase camera. So basically what I'm doing is I'm making my own simulator out of the NVC template. That's all I'm doing. And it's already a lot better. And these interiors aren't half bad as well, so they're acceptable. It's creeping up. You know, it can get there if we had a long enough straight. It'll definitely get to 434 km/h like real life. I do gotta fix that brake light, because in real life the Veyron, the brake light's in that middle one right above the Bugatti logo. Pretty cool. Alright, let's go check out one more car. I don't want this video to be too long. I want to go check out we had the Veyron 918 Spider, Chiron Devo, Venom GT, Zonda R, S2K Amuse, LaFerrari. Let's go check out the LaFerrari, see what that's looking like right quick. Alright, let's add that to the background, and then put that on the speed timing manager as well. Let's see what happens. Do I have my car stats on here? Yes. And so, like real life, obviously this car is 939 horsepower. The torque obviously isn't going to be realistic as far as what the car gets in real life, but I have to edit the torque in the actual the vehicle script to make it realistic for the simulator. Because if I put too much torque in the car, it's gonna feel like 2,000 horsepower, you know, in the actual simulator, which we don't want that. We want it to feel like a LaFerrari at 939 horsepower, and that's what we're doing. Doesn't all the way sound like a LaFerrari, but eventually we'll get there. And I don't have my brake lights or reverse lights hooked up on this car yet. But we do have realistic interiors for the most part. This is a lot funner than Gran Turismo and freaking Forza, man. Because I just get to build my own freaking racing game and put any car in it that I want and make it realistic. Okay, so I know that a lot of people, they don't really understand the capabilities of the LaFerrari. So on the Autobahn in real life, somebody got it to 234 miles per hour. It took a long time to do it, but they still did it. So the LaFerrari is definitely capable of 230 plus, and so that's what we're doing here with this car. That's what it's capable of. So let's get that launch going. Not bad, 2.67. Not a bad quarter mile, 9.7 seconds. Let's go. Freaking love this game, man. 24 seconds exactly at 215 miles per hour, not bad. It's about a second slower than the Veyron Vitesse, how it is in real life. Mind you, all these cars have been launching with no launch control. That's why they've been launching so hard, though. It's going to take me a long time to get the map actually fully finished and textured, though. Because that's the funnest part about it, is if I have to take every car that I implement into the game, and then I have to run multiple laps around this track with every single car that I got in the game. I got to run maybe 100 laps around each track with every car that I implement into the game to figure out potential game-breaking scripts, potential game-breaking colliders, game-breaking things like that, basically. But overall, do not think that I'll release this game without putting in any effort into it. I'm going to tweak every little thing that I can, because I'm not one of these lazy developers out here, okay? I'm a developer with over 10 years experience on the Unity engine at the end of the day. And so I would never come out here and try to release this game half-assed, how like a lazy developer would do. I'm literally going to take this full 2026, you know, and then really focus on my two games that I'm working on, which is Blood Moon, and then I'm working on this racing game, which I'm not going to release the name of it yet. Got unstable right there because we don't have traction control on, so it's hard to run this car on the track without traction control. yeah, but that's about it, you guys, man. God bless, like and subscribe, and let you know that this game and Blood Moon is both set to release later on this year, early next year, sometime in 2027, no later than that for sure.